we're heading to Chicago because we want to save Chicago. Do you know they had over 4,000 people killed in Chicago over a short 4,000 people? And I have to watch this slob of a governor stand up and say that, well, everything's okay. We've got it under control.
Here in Chicago, we have brought crime down precipitously. The president, on the other hand, has some idea in his head that things are getting worse and worse. It's a hellhole. It's some kind of hellscape in Chicago or in Illinois.
And we are joined now by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Governor Pritzker, thank you for joining us this morning. I know you just heard Vice President Vance. He didn't directly answer whether he agreed with President Trump that you've committed a crime, but what he did say was it seems pretty criminal to him, your behavior. What's your response?
Well, you just heard a tidal wave of lies from the Vice President of the United States. It's a bit shocking, and you heard over and over again him just making things up on national television with you. You know, there's a reason why the judge here in federal court said that the administration lacks credibility, and why even the Nobel Prize Committee chair said that the administration lacks integrity. This administration, led by a 34-time convicted felon, is threatening to jail people that are their political opponents. They're making things up to go after people. We're seeing it day in and day out. And the fact that he's made a threat against me, I'm not afraid. I'm going to stand up for the people of my state. And we've got to all stand together, because there is truly unconstitutional actions that are coming out of this administration, coming at the states and the people of the United States. And all of us, Democrats and Republicans, need to speak out about it. One thing I'd point out, you mentioned Governor Stitt, who said specifically, like, we shouldn't be federalizing troops in one state and sending them into another, that he would be offended if I had troops going into his state. I am offended that Greg Abbott has troops coming into my state. And even Governor Scott in Vermont has called this unconstitutional. So good news, Republicans are now calling out the Trump administration. More should do so.
As you know, President Trump called for the prosecution of James Comey. It happened. He called for the prosecution of Letitia James, and it happened. He said you committed a crime. Are you worried the Justice Department is going to come after you?
It's true that the president says things, and sometimes he follows through on those threats, and he certainly has the power of the presidency. He does not have the power to overcome the Constitution. And so am I afraid? I am not afraid. Do I think that he could do it? He might. But as I've said before, come and get me. I mean, you're dead wrong, Mr. President and Mr. Vice President. And I will stand up for the law and the Constitution. That's what we do in the state of Illinois.
The latest federal judge has allowed troops from Texas to remain in Illinois, but said they can't be deployed in Chicago. What is the situation exactly on the ground right now?
Well, there are federalized troops that have been sent here from Texas. They are in a federal facility. They're not allowed to come onto the streets of Chicago or our suburbs or anywhere in Illinois, according to the determination of the judge. We have also troops from California, not sent by California, but rather by the president when they were deterred from Oregon. So we've got two states, other states' troops, and of course the Illinois National Guard that's been federalized and under the direction of the President of the United States. None are allowed on the streets of Chicago right now because we've won the temporary restraining order and the appeal of that TRO. And we hope to continue to win. Look, we've got to rely on the courts to do the right thing. I realize that sometimes that's risky business, especially when some have been appointed by Donald Trump. But we've seen that even a Trump-appointed judge out in California, in the West Coast, has ruled against the administration. So I do think that their oath of office actually matters to them, and that they'll make the right determinations.
But as you just heard Vice President Vance say, that those troops are necessary because under your watch, under the watch of the mayor of Chicago, the streets have been given over to lawlessness. Those are his words.
Yeah, well, you know, they've said that Portland is on fire. Portland is not on fire. In Chicago, we've cut the homicide rate in half. We've got double-digit declines in all of our violent crime statistics. He says that we've got the highest crime rate in the entire world. That's ridiculous. We're not even in the top 25 cities in the United States. And Illinois itself is the 19th safest state in the United States. I'd like to be in the top 10, but 19th is a whole heck of a lot better than Texas or Florida.
But if the president invokes the Insurrection Act, there's not much you can do, is there?
Well, the Insurrection Act is called the Insurrection Act for a reason. There has to be a rebellion. There has to be an insurrection in order for him to be allowed to invoke it. Again, he can say anything he wants, but if the Constitution means anything, and I guess we all are questioning that right now, but the courts will make the determination. If the Constitution means anything, the Insurrection Act cannot be invoked to send them in because they want to fight crime. Let me add that they're claiming in court that that's not the reason that they're calling up troops to send them into our states. They're claiming in court that this is about protecting ICE facilities and ICE agents and not about crime on the streets. But then you hear Vice President Vance and the President of the United States contravening that and saying exactly what they actually think. They just want troops on the ground because they want to militarize, especially blue cities in blue states.
Governor Pritzker, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, George.